Here we are, early in turn two. The Russian vanguard here has brushed aside most of the West German territorial defenses. I thought they might stand a little bit longer. Now the follow-on forces are coming through. We have our counter-battery artillery units ready to roll up here. They won't have much to do right away. And let's see what is next. An end of operations, which can't happen yet, and the designated Soviet formation. So that it only makes sense to designate the one's first of the 45th, and here we go. Now, it's not clear to me if these off-board units are allowed to fire other than in counter-battery fire, but I'm also not sure that that matters. I'll deal with that later. We don't need artillery fire right now. We are going to probably pretty effectively take care of this situation right here. Well, we do. Yeah, okay. So what's going to happen is the undisrupted tank. Well, first of all, I'm going to see about my command status. If I move here, I don't have my self-propelled artillery in command. But this is where I want to be because I want to make sure that we take care of this infantry unit here. So it's command check right here. They are out of command, so they will be doing nothing, which will not matter a whole lot, I think, in this instance anyway. And so the headquarters stacked with the undisrupted tank will shoot 5 dice, needing 4s from their machine guns at this infantry platoon, and they get only a single hit, which is shrugged off. That is bad news for the Russians. They are maybe getting stopped a little bit more. So this disrupted unit is going to have to clear out of the way. It's going to move up here. This unit has the option to... No, it doesn't really. Well, it'll be a long-range shot. That doesn't do any good. So this is 1, 2, and it gets a single die needing 4s, but there's an improved position here, so that doesn't do it any good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is where they will come to rest. So now the Soviets have to figure out what to do to try to... The only place they can fire at this infantry unit is from this hex or from this hex. So yeah, I probably should have called down the artillery, shouldn't I have? Let's take a minute and find out whether the counter-battery artillery is allowed to fire a regular off-board or on-board mission. No such luck, Soviets. And so any moving and firing that they do here is going to... Well, so they can give it a try here. 1, 2, and they're going to take this shot. They lose 1 die, 1 needing 4, or 2 needing 4. That's 0 hits. Yeah, the Soviets are getting slowed up here. Should we just try getting across the bridge? Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good idea. Here we go again, taking another 2 needing 4. 1 hit, ignored by because of the improved position. All right, well. Here comes. Oh no, that won't work. 1, 2, 3, and again 2 needing 4. Wow, you'd think that they'd be able to get 2 4s, huh? Ops complete. And so now these other, well, I've just jammed my route up, right? 1, 2, so 2 needing 4 at the other. Oh wait, so you know what? This unit here is allowed fire at so that's going to be 2 dice needing 6. It should have done some opportunity fire. No hits. Now this unit here is going to get its chance to fire, 2 needing 4. About time. One of those hits is shrugged off, and they get 2 saves for being in the city. They fail to save, so they are disrupted. And this unit is ops complete. And 1, 2, 3. I don't think the blue units get to move and fire, do they? Oh yeah, it can move and fire. It loses 2 dice. How many dice would this tungsta have? You bring it down to 1. It wouldn't matter. So 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, and another shot. Losing 1 die. 2 needing 4. And nothing. 1, 2. Are these hexes all cultivated? 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try to 1, 2. At least sneak around. 3, 4, 5, 6. Come around back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have done their worst. What do we have here? The bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of command unit cannot move. This unit is not ops complete. Alright, so since a disrupted unit cannot op fire, nah, it can't hit. No, hell, let's do it this way. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I thought I'd get in range to spot for some artillery, but I'm not. And so this unit then will make it here. And the bridging unit and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Vehicles can move uphill on roads for a single movement point. So, wow, the Soviets, they really thought they would handle that a little better than they did, but they failed. Next formation, the 51st Panzer Grenadier Battalion, and I have got to go to work, so I'm going to come back and start doing that. But these units down here and here and here are allowed to activate this turn, and so they will be getting a crack at deciding whether to move up for defense or stay where they are. So the 51st is activating, and that is this formation here and this formation here. And the question is, does it make sense for them to reposition in any way, seeing the Soviets making some progress up here, a fair bit of progress actually. But so I think that we now see that the Soviets plan to be coming over this hill here. So the question is, should we try to race into more effective defensive positions, maybe getting a little bit up on this hill to shoot away at them as they come across, or setting up inside the urban area here to try to use that cover to slow them down if they come off the hill this way. I don't think this unit here in 2 activations, which it might have this turn, I don't think they can make it here to any kind of position that would be effective. If there was better cover back here for vehicles, I would think, yeah, maybe they'll sort of try this reverse slope defense idea and be ready to pound the Soviets if they came over the hill, but they're just going to be out in the open in these fields here. So what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to activate them just in order to move this unit here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that way, if we decide that they need to make a move to move up here, that they're all a little bit closer. If it seems that the Soviets come down here, there's still plenty of time to move this unit back here. But knowing that there is some further help coming next turn from this direction, and there are also next turn some units coming down from the north, it seems like they can start to try to close, defend a little bit farther forward, trying to keep the Soviets at bay a little bit longer. So we're going to go ahead and do that here. These units, they should all be mounted. I don't know why I had them unmounted. I just didn't click the button. So this is the second unit from the 51st. So we're just going to understand that they are all mounted. Load infantry. Load infantry. Load. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I forgot that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to keep them all together. Yep. And so got a little bit of indirect fire here, anti-tank, infantry fighting vehicle, anti-aircraft. So these units are going to move up into this. They're going to try to get situated up here in the city in a way that will impede Soviet progress if they try to come that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think these both move 6. No, one of them only moves 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this, I think, moves 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I forgot to bring their headquarters in also. The headquarters of this unit should be... we'll come right here. Keeping up the tail end. And that is all for these units here. They're all ops complete. And that is the last. So I'm going to have to pause here for a minute. But I will pull the next card. I do like to know what's coming next. The Scratch Force, that's one of my additions. And all the Scratch Force is some recon units up here. So we'll get to them when I come back. So the current activation here is one of my inventions and additions, a Scratch Force. In the way that I like to think about the narrative of this game, my thinking is that a bunch of NATO troops were battered and beaten back and fell back in a very disorganized manner, perhaps like happened to the paratroopers on D-Day, and that a charismatic leader of sorts, an ambitious leader, gathered a bunch of them together, and that this Lieutenant Colonel Garner here is actually an artillery officer, and he's saying, all right, so listen, let's get out there and look around for the enemy, and I'm going to call in fire as I can, and we don't have the strength to do a ton of damage, but I want to find a way to start directing some of the response here. Does that make sense? So we've got these two recon vehicles here. They're actually, I think there should be I don't know. I thought maybe I had made 3 of them. Okay, but so anyway, here they come. Right, they won't be able to do anything on this turn. They're just going to start moving up. And at this point, they're going to see if they can get up on. Sorry for the zoom out there. So they're going to see if they can get up on this high ground here and take a look at what's going on over here. And so that's what they'll do. So let's get them going. And somewhere I have a headquarters that I assigned for them. I can't remember what color it was or where I put it in my little weird setup, so I'm going to deal with that a little bit later. But we're going to send out, so these are the infantry fighting vehicles, the anti-tank vehicles. They have some armor and some hitting power, so they're just going to sort of act as protectors of the force as much as possible. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this anti-aircraft unit that the colonel grabbed and said, yeah, come on, let's go. They're going to come along here. I think they move only, oh no, they move all 6. I guess that's a good one. So they're going to move here. And these recon vehicles, which don't have to worry about being in command, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One is going to go that way. One of these vehicles is going to move back and make room for this vehicle to be here. And the Scratch recon unit is ops complete and looking to get into the fight there. And let's see who is next. I could probably get one more formation activation in here. Finally, these poor West German territorial troops, man, they have had it rough. They have been blasted to smithereens by this Russian horde till they're down to a single infantry formation. The end operations card goes back, and now the turn can end as they come out. And so the first thing is trying to rally this unit here, trying to rally it and get it to do something. And it passed because the leadership bonus is 1 for this troop, and their morale is 6. And so they rally, and you know, they could, in real life, I think probably they would be saying, like, let's get out of here and fall back. But the truth is, in this game, there's no chance that they're going to be able to fall back. But they can. They've got some troops here. But what they can do is, oh wait, this unit over here, are we in command? There's a second unit left. All right then. So we've got a couple of interesting things that we can do here. This unit can hold tight in its improved position, which I think is probably what it should do. It could make an assault across the bridge here, and it could do some damage. It gets an extra firepower die and a reduced to hit number for being infantry assaulting tanks in the city, and it gets a reduced to hit number for being infantry assaulting tanks without infantry cover. But it's also going across the bridge. So it could mess some of these things up, but you know, like, let's just leave it here. It's got some good cover. It's got an improved position. If the enemy wants to come for them, they've got to get across a bridge. So we'll start here, and they're going to move 1, 2, and they're making an assault. And now this assault is against armor in a city, and so with the headquarters along, they get 3 dice, and the 5 is reduced to a 4 for assaulting tanks and reduced to a 3 for assaulting into the city. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. The 5 is reduced to a 4, and they get a 4th die now for being tanks in the city. So they get an extra die for the headquarters, an extra die for being an infantry unit assaulting armor in urban terrain, and they get a reduction in their hit number for assaulting unescorted armor and a reduction for assaulting in the city. So they are doing 4 dice, needing 3, and this is going to hurt the Soviets. Yep, it's going to eliminate that platoon. The platoon fires back with a single die and does not score a hit. So that vehicle is wrecked. This unit is ops complete, but they have done a pretty good job, and the Soviets are probably going to try to keep going down here, right? But the territorials do have access to a wrong pop-up. They do have access to a shoulder-fired or a anti-tank missile, the Milan anti-tank missile. It's not the greatest anti-tank guided missile in the world, but it is something. And so, if the Soviets don't try to do something to try to eliminate them over here, they'll at least be able to get some shots off from range with the anti-tank guided missile. So, I got to say, given the breaks that this unit had, not being able to activate, I think that they have acquitted themselves well in this fight so far. They have sold their lives dearly and caused the enemy some havoc, not a ton, but what are you going to do against a gigantic tank battalion, right? Let's see who's going to go next. Let's see who's coming out next. And it is the 54th Panzer Grenadier Battalion, and the units that are on the map currently for the 54th, there's one formation, and that is this formation here. And so here's their headquarters. Now this, I'm sure this is a module glitch. This leader, I'm sure, is supposed to be a 2. This is the counter that got pulled from the formation jar thing up here, the little armies thing, right? West German. Let's do light brown. Let's find the light brown. Are these light brown? What are they? Are they just brown? No, that's the territorials, right? They're not red. They're not yellow. Those are Leopard 2s. Those are good tanks. Right, so this headquarters here for the infantry is showing as a 1. I don't think that that's the intention, although these are Leopards. Where did I pull them from? They're not actually yellow, are they? So I guess so I'm not sure what happened here. We'll deal with that later. Sorry to jam things up. So now this unit has to decide, are they where they want to be to try to face the Russians as the Russians come down here, or do they think that they can get up here? If they do, and the Russians come south, then they're leaving these guys all on their own, and I don't think they have time to get up here to try to act as a speed bump there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and get into the city right there and have some ability to shoot out in this direction. So let's do that. Let's bring this unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and leave them there. Ops complete and ops complete. And this this grouping here, they're going to stay put. They this formation may end up deciding it needs to head back south again, but it should have time to get there. The problem is sort of the Russians are going to have decent cover as they come down this way if that's what they choose to do. It's quicker for them, but maybe we're driving them this way. So, yeah, who knows? The Russians will have to decide that when it gets to be their turn. That is going to be all that I have time to really play out today. The 54th is all finished. But There is the second end operations card. So this turn ends with, I don't think there's any formation not activated, is there? Let's look in here. Yeah, every formation has been activated at least once. And so even though there were a lot of cards not pulled, that does not matter. So that's bad news for the Soviets because they need as much time as possible to get themselves rolling. It's good news for NATO because it gives them time to bring some forces back into the fold. And so again, you don't need to watch me do all this stuff. I'm going to end the video here and be back with turn 3. All right, thank you for watching.